Hi there, this is Clint with PlymouthCooter.com. I wanted to speak with you briefly about big block water pump housings and also the big block water pumps which were used. They differ, these water pump housings differ in several different ways. You have different chassis numbers. You also have different locations of these chassis numbers, as well as the Pentastar may also be located in a different location. You have the date codes, which are also stamped on some of these, and sometimes they are not stamped on some of these. And the date codes are also in different locations as well. So let's discuss the different variations of these water pumps and the water pump housings. So let's start with this water pump housing here, which the chassis number is 2468007. You can see that right there, the chassis number. As well, if you notate to the left, which I tried to come in here with a pen and notate it as well, that is the date code, which it looks to be 8-20. Sometimes you would see an X or you would see a dash, which would be in the middle of the month and day. So that would be, let's see, August 20th. These here were used from 1965 to 1966. You could see them on B, C, and D body vehicles, 361, 383, 413, 426, and hemi and 440 type vehicles during that time. So, you know, that's the years that you would see these. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, here's the next water pump housing that I want to look at. This one is probably one of the most common, if not the most common number that you will see on these muscle car era type housings. And this housing was from 1967 to 1971. It was commonly used. It was the chassis number of 278097. And you can see right there, there's the chassis number. And again, these chassis numbers are located in different locations, can move around and vary depending on, you know, when these were produced and the vendors. So then we come down here again, and you can also see the date code. Okay, so that one would be, looks like October 21st of, you know, whatever year. Now, of course, it's tough because these could have been used, probably it would have been used from 1967 to 1969 because they had a little bit different look on the one in the late 1969, which we're going to look at here in a little bit, of the water pump housing. So let's move on here to the next housing. Now here's another housing. It is very similar to the one I previously showed you. It still has the same chassis number on it. Again, this was used from 1967, big blocks in 1971. You would see these chassis number type water pump housings. They would be used on A, B, C, and E body vehicles. And then let's go over here to the next one. This one I just wanted to show you. It's the same housing again, once again, but I wanted to show you, this is the type, it's a pulley that you could use. It's a single pulley. That's very prominent, and that's what you'd see a lot of times when used on these. So I want to move on. Let's move on to the next housing. Okay, so let's take a look at this housing. This one's a little bit different. Please notice that you have the chassis number over on this side. The chassis number is located in a different place. Yes, it is the same chassis number. So, you know, everything is, you know, it still has the same chassis number, but look, notice the date code even. The date code's in a different place, and the date code showing 10 of 22. So, what that also notate in between there, instead of having a dash, it's an X, which X or dash was commonly used in between those markings, and again, it was the month and the day. So, we look here, what's also different is you notice right here, there's a Pentastar. That Pentastar that you have there, that was from 1969 to 1971. So this would be like one of the newer versions that came out, but it was in late 69 when they started using these. So normally when you would see, you know, like a 1970 type vehicle, you would probably end up seeing this water pump housing. Okay, so let's move on to this next piece here. This is a water pump. Now, what's interesting about this water pump, and I try to notate these things on the water pump as well, just so that it helps to understand it. So when I'm looking up the part, that I don't get confused. So on that water pump, what you have here is the chassis number on it is 2843290. Okay, that's 2843290. Now, you can see that here at the bottom. Now, what we want to check out as well is I notated it's a 6 blade. Well, and it's a big block from 68 to 71. These were what you would see. Well, okay, so let's turn this over. So if you notice, there's 6 blades there. Now, if it was a non-AC car, then this would actually have 8 blades. And the non-AC would end up using the 8 versus the AC uses the 6. So just something interesting about that makes quite of a difference in cooling. Now, let's move on to the next one that we have here. This one, this water pump housing, this one has a chassis number of 3688468. Okay, so now this is actually used on 1973 to 1978 big blocks. This right here, if you see that there, it's just interesting how, they changed. As things became newer, they updated these, they made changes for whatever their reason. But this is what you'd see on the 73 to 78 big blocks. So, back to it all, there are so many differences, slight differences, but a lot of these will all work. A lot of these water pump housings will work on the vehicle. They'll work fine. So you could use any of these water pump housings pretty much on your big block, I would say, with the exception of the 73 to 78, of course. But it just depends. How correct do you want to be? Do you want to go for a 70 type vehicle right here? Or do you want to go for a 65 to 66 over here? Or do we have something that's, 68, early 69 vehicle? Well, then we might want to choose one of these housings right here. So it just depends on everything that you're looking for. So good luck with your restoration. I'd love you to please subscribe to my channel. Again, also check out my website at PlymouthCuda.com. I appreciate you guys. Y'all have a wonderful day.